Hey guys, welcome to this week's review of Real Housewives of Beverly Hills. So the episode starts off with Dorit and PK. Of course, Dorit, makes perfect sense, is starting a bridal line. And she was trying on the dresses, and I have to say, they actually look really gorgeous. They're very sleek and modern. And I do like Dorit's style, I do. Sometimes I feel like she does a little too much with it, but I do enjoy seeing what look she's gonna put together, and you can tell she really loves and adores, dressing up. So for her to, I think out of all the ladies on these franchises, that do, them have products and stuff like that, when it comes to Dorit and fashion, it really makes sense because I feel like Dorit embodies that. So her dresses, of course, were absolutely gorgeous. The pearl one was absolutely gorgeous, the pearl. And the last one she had on, that PK named The Woman, was very gorgeous as well. I think if you want a more modern look, those wedding dresses are absolutely beautiful. So I do wish her luck on that. Now, I don't know if she's gonna be on next season to kind of sell these products. I'm not sure if her spot is really that safe. But I definitely think if she does not come back on as a full housewife, I definitely think she'll come back on as a friend to the show. I mean, I don't know. I do like Dorit and I do like PK and her children. They're so cute. I think they're interesting characters, but I'm not sure if they really bring much to the show. But, Dorit can get one more season. Just one more. And we can see what she does. But, I mean, if they have to let go of somebody, I hate to say it, Dorit is probably the one that they're going to go to. Sorry, Dorit. But, whatever, that's okay. Actually, I was about to say it's okay to not have that much drama in your life, but Dorit does have drama. She does have financial issues. PK has financial issues, but they don't really touch on that on the show, and I don't think they want to. So I guess you have to choose. Do you want to be on the show and bring up your drama, or do you want to protect your image and maybe be a friend of the show and not a housewife? We'll see. So she's bringing up again about how people say she talks a lot. And she's saying the reason why I talk so much is because PK talks a lot. So I don't really get a chance to talk. So when I'm around the ladies, I just go off. I think we've all known people in real life that talk too much. I may have been one of those people that have talked too much. I have definitely been one of those people that has listened a lot, listened too much, and was in my head like, oh my gosh, will they please shut up? So it does happen. Um, at the end of the day, I think if you have everybody telling you the same thing, that you are long-winded and that you go on and on and on, you can tell yourself all you want. I don't do that. That's not true. That's not true. You can say that all you want to yourself, but at some point you do kind of maybe have to take a moment and reflect and be like, well, maybe I do go on and on. Like, if several people are saying the same thing to me, maybe that's what I do, and I should make efforts to curb that. Make sure that as much as I'm talking, I'm also listening, and I'm also actively listening, right? And I'm giving people the space to say what they have to say and not just jumping in. So she can blame PK, she can blame Garcelle, she can say this, that, and the third, but at some point you do have to take accountability, right? And I don't think the ladies are really saying that they don't like Dorit, right? It's very mild. I don't think they're really coming at her crazy disrespectful. So I don't really think she should be so offended and really drag it on. Like with Garcelle, it just doesn't make sense for her. Like, say what you have to say, but for her to be so pissed at Garcelle doesn't really make any sense to me. It's just like, just move on at this point, right? Moving on. Let me move on. Okay, So Sutton meets with Kyle. She shows Kyle the house that she's building, and Kyle's like, "Okay, looks like it's gonna take a bit, so that means I'm gonna be making more money because you're gonna be paying me rent, because it seems like it may take you a year or so to finish this house." So she shows her house. It looks nice, whatever, a fancy house, whatever. And so they sit down and they talk about the whole Erica situation, right? And Sutton was like, "I've been treating Erica with kid gloves, right? But after Erica came with me with that whole small town crap, she's really starting to piss me off. And you know what? I'm not caring about her feelings anymore because it doesn't seem like she's that fragile." Totally agree with Sutton. I didn't really clock it, or I didn't really mention it in my last review, but her saying small town, how small town of you, that is really offensive, right? Because she's saying you're from some small hick town, so of course all you care about is other people and blah blah blah. And listen, I'm not saying that is not true about Sutton, right? Sutton does strike me as someone that maybe is she is materialistic to a certain extent, and that she cares about her reputation and what others think of her, right? I'm not gonna say that's not Sutton, but given the situation, like I said last time, it's not like Erica just got a divorce, right? It's not like Erica didn't pay her taxes. It's not like Erica was got a DUI, right? She didn't harm anybody, but she just got a DUI or something like that. Something maybe small where it's like, okay, it doesn't, yeah, you shouldn't have done that. You were wrong, but there were no victims, right? But with a situation like Erica and Tom Girardi, this is at another level. I think Erica should be understanding that anybody associated with her would feel a bit uncomfortable, would feel some type of way. I think if Erica was a decent person, would give Sutton a little bit of grace. Now, does that mean that you're going to be BFFs with Sutton, or you're going to trust her like you did before? No, of course not. But you should give her a little bit of grace considering the circumstances. She should be a little bit understanding, right? That someone would be uncomfortable to be associated with someone that steals from orphans and burn victims. And you know what it is. I'm not going to repeat it every single review. I got to repeat all the shit that Erica did, and I don't even list them all, right? She should understand that people may be hesitant to be around her. And the fact that, like, fast forward to Erica, Garcelle, Kathy, and Crystal, they went to Crystal's house basically for dinner, right? They're always meeting up to eat. And Erica, and I understand Crystal kind of coming after Sutton because she doesn't like Sutton because they've had their back and forth, so that makes sense to me, right? But I don't get why Erica is so upset about it. I mean, I do, but I feel like given the situation, you have no room to be angry and you should have a bit of grace. And they're like, "Well, we don't know her. She's nobody. She's this," like trying to bring down her status. That's I'm not really feeling Erica at all. That whole act of like, woe is me and everything. Everybody else is falling for it, but I'm glad that now Sutton is starting to realize that, listen, Erica's a jerk. She's not that fragile. Behind your back, like when you're in front of Erica, Sutton is trying to be so delicate around Erica, right? She's trying to be true to herself and say what she has to say, but not hurt Erica's feelings, right? But look how Erica talks about her, right? Erica just says she's nobody, she's nothing. She doesn't give a F. So at this point, why should Sutton, you know, walk on broken glass and tiptoe around Erica at this point? And it was very awkward for Garcelle because she's like, what are you guys doing? You know that I'm friends with Sutton. In her confessionals, of course. Not to their faces, Garcelle. Not to their effing faces. This is the problem I have with Garcelle. Like, in her confessionals, she can clock them, but she doesn't say it to their face. And I feel like that is a moment she should have said it to Erica's face. Not, doesn't mean you have to fight or you have to make a scene, but you can say it in a respectful manner. Like, hello, Erica, don't you know what's going on? It makes sense that she may be hesitant to be around you because she's not sure what to believe because you've lied several times. You've lied several thousand times at this point. So, of course, Sutton's gonna feel some sort of way, and you should give her a little bit of grace. That doesn't mean you gotta be best friends with her, but you should at least be a little bit understanding, right? That's what Garcelle should have said, but Garcelle kind of just sits there because I feel like Garcelle is kind of, she already feels like an outsider in the group, right? And I can only imagine if you're the only black girl in a majority white cast, as it is, you probably already feel like uncomfortable and out of place. And Erica already snapped at her before, and all the ladies sort of ganged up on her to support Erica. So I understand at this point it's kind of hard to stand up for someone when everybody at the table is against them. But at the end of the day, I think that was, in my book, that would have been the right thing to do. And I think in the moment, Garcelle would have felt the burn. But trust me, as an audience member watching, and I'm pretty sure other people watching, we would have been Team Garcelle at this point. And I think when Garcelle is watching everything back, hopefully by the time the reunion comes around, Garcelle gets a little bit of power and confidence where she can just be direct and speak her mind and not be, I wish Garcelle wasn't so worried about fitting in with these ladies, right? Because listen, those ladies have had their time. A new era is being ushered in, and Garcelle could be that girl, right? But for you to be that girl, you can't care too much what the other people have to say. You just have to say what you say, because it's no fun as an audience member watching it when you have all this shit to say in the confessionals, but in real life not real life, but in the scene you're like, Sutton is eccentric, and no, come with the same energy. Stand up. If this is your friend, stand up for her. Doesn't mean you have to yell or scream, but say what you have to say. Because they're wrong. They're wrong in this situation. If Sutton was wrong, then Sutton is wrong. But Erica already snapped at you, right? So why? And then when you apologize 7,000 times, Erica paid you dust. So, I feel like, why are you placating to her feelings at this point? Okay, so Maurizio and Kyle, it's their 25th anniversary. Congratulations to them. That's a long-ass time. 3 years is a long-ass time to me, so I can't even imagine 25 years. So, congratulations to them. It was a cute scene. I do like their dynamic. I like their relationship. They look good together. So, kudos to them. Now let's fast forward to what we really care about. The main scene, okay? The dinner from hell. So, Kathy's hosting the dinner. I need a Patrick. Patrick was so cute, right? I need a Patrick in my life. And a caviar pie? I never heard of a caviar pie. I don't know if I'll ever be as wealthy as Kathy, but I definitely need a friend that is as wealthy as Kathy. So, maybe once in a while I can enjoy the high life. So, I do like our home. That was a nice setup. It was a cute dinner. Too bad the ladies were not in a cute mood, especially Erica, right? Unpopular opinion. This is an unpopular opinion. I'm just gonna say it. Erica got the girls together. She did. Everybody is terrified of Erica, and now I see why. She is so scary, but she's quick on her feet. She's able to cry so she can pull at your heartstrings, but then she can also get you together when she needs to get you together. Erica Jane looked absolutely terrifying during this dinner. Absolutely terrifying. I can see why the ladies are afraid, and it's a little bit frustrating because, to be honest, I feel like none of the ladies, to be honest, have the balls to go up to Erica. I feel like behind her back, they all have this stuff to say, but then when it comes to, talking to her or challenging her face to face, they all crumble. She really gets the girls together. And I don't know, I was kind of feeling Erica this scene. Unpopular opinion, but I feel like she was kind of badass. I'm sorry, I have to say it. I don't want to say it, but I do, right? And this is the thing with reality television. This is supposed to be their quote-unquote real life, and it is to a certain extent, but at the same time, you're being filmed for an audience. And I do get Erica's argument of, what does your reputation or your opinion on whether I'm telling the truth or not telling the truth, what does that have to do with me and my life and what I have going on legally? I also get it that if you're going to court, right? You're in the midst of a trial. You can't really discuss what's going on, right? Because you don't want to say the wrong thing and then have that being used against you in a court of law. So it's best to kind of keep things a little bit quiet. Although Erica, whether it was true or false, Erica did provide a lot of information. She did, right? But it has, in the earlier scenes or the earlier episodes, it has been on her terms, right? Now the ladies are kind of a little bit confused, and there seems to be a lot of discrepancies with her story. So now the ladies want to come at her and ask her questions, right? And Erica is not for that at all, because she feels like, well, it's none of your business. I already gave you information, so what I gave you is what I gave you. But for you guys to come prying and try to call me out on lies, it's not that you are only taking me down in the realm of reality television. You may be criminally taking me down. I could go to jail over this. So you're putting me in a really effed up position, right? If you're trying to call me out, it's not just in the court of public opinion. I could really go to jail if I get caught in a lie. So you're putting me in a bad situation. And I can totally understand that if these people are your real friends or supposed to be your real friends, you wouldn't do that because you know what it is. So I get that from Erica, right? I can understand why she is so frustrated. But then there's another part of me that remembers last season and the season after that. Particularly with Denise Richards, the way they all of them ganged up on her over something so stupid on whether she slept with somebody or not. Who cares? It didn't happen on camera, right? We didn't even see the moment leading up to the moment of them sleeping together. I think Brandy and Denise. We didn't even get the scene leading up to that scene, so it wasn't really relevant to the show. But all of you guys ganged up on her, used her as the scapegoat, used her as the storyline. You did the same thing with Lisa Vanderpump. I don't think Lisa Vanderpump is this innocent character. I don't. But the situation with the puppy was so stupid. Like, 2 episodes, okay, maybe it was a little bit interesting. 3 episodes, okay. But 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, and all of you guys made that your storyline? Especially when Lisa Vanderpump lost her brother and she was going through something, you guys all ganged up on her, right? So it does seem a little bit disingenuous for Erica Jane now to be sitting here crying in front of the ladies, being like, why are you guys all ganging up on me? Well, this is the MO of the group. You know how it is because you participated in it. And listen, karma's a bitch. What goes around comes around, and now it's your turn, right? So the question is, if it wasn't Erica Jane, say if it was Dorit, say if it was Garcelle, say if it was Sutton, would Erica Jane keep her mouth shut? Or would she be one of the girls asking questions, wanting to know what's going on? So it's like, on the other hand, I get it that, okay, you guys are quote unquote friends. On the other hand, you are on a reality television show, right? And I do think each individual cast members, I do think you do owe the audience to get to the bottom of things, right? But in this case, it's not something stupid. In this case, the stakes are so high. Oh my god. Well, let's talk about Garcelle, right? Oh my god. Oh, I felt the sting when Garcelle was like, listen, Erica, isn't it human nature? Isn't it natural for people to think about, oh, how is this going to affect me? Right? Isn't it normal? And Erica was like, no, it's not, right? And then Erica starts crying. And Garcelle was like, don't cry. And oh, I cringed so hard when when Garcelle went to wipe the tear from Erica's face. First of all, you don't touch people's face, especially if they have makeup and stuff, and I'm not really feeling you like that. I don't want you touching my face, right? So when Erica kind of moved her head, when Garcelle was trying to wipe her tear and she moved back, I'm sorry, I would have done the same thing, right? Especially I'm not feeling you. We're eating, so your hands are probably dirty, and I have a full face of makeup. I don't want you wiping away my tears. I could do that myself. So I get Erica moving away. And then Garcelle goes to put her arm around Erica and like, oh, I don't mean to hurt you. I don't mean to hurt you. And then Erica, oh my god, Erica's ice cold. Ice cold. She said to her, you can let go of me now. You can let go of me now. You know, she didn't yell. She didn't scream. She said it very politely, like, bitch, do not touch me. She didn't say it like that, but she pretty much did. And it's like, Garcelle, oh my god. Garcelle is so nice. She's too nice. She's too nice. Like, this person snapped on you before. You know how she is. You know that if you say anything against her, Erica's done with you, at least in that moment. But Garcelle, she's like a little puppy. She wants Erica to like her. You can't have it both ways. You can't say how it is and then expect the person to kind of just accept you and whatever. It's like, I just wish Garcelle played it a little bit cool, because I feel like she keeps making herself look stupid at this point. Because you and Sutton are, I guess you guys are a team at this point, right? Sutton is your friend. You see the way she's engaging with Sutton. Oh my god, when Erica said to Sutton, I have so many things to care about, and I have so much time in the day, and you are one of the people I just don't care about. So I don't care what you have to say. And at the end of the day, Erica has every right to say that, because listen, if you're not feeling someone, you're not feeling someone. And if that person wants to care about their reputation and they don't want to be around you, I totally understand someone being like, well, okay, fine. That's cool. I don't care what you have to say then. It goes both ways. Stay away from me. If you don't want to be around me because you feel like it looks bad on you, then don't be around me. We don't need to have a conversation. Right? So I do get where Erica's coming from. But moving back to Garcelle, you see the way she's talking to Sutton. She's disrespecting your friend. And then you're still trying to empathize with Erica. You're still trying to coddle her. But then in your confessionals, you say, well, you're not thinking about the victims. You're just thinking about yourself in that situation. So I just wish, like I said before, Garcelle would keep the same energy. And I know the confessionals are filmed after, so maybe it took some time for Garcelle to get to that point where she's like, pretty much F Erica. I get that, but it's like, I wish she wouldn't put herself out there so much, because out of all the ladies, it really seems like Garcelle is the one that's really trying to, comfort Erica and reach out to her, and Erica just keeps rejecting her. And at this point, Garcelle, you kind of look dumb. Like, you're not going to get that from Erica. You're not going to get Erica's acceptance, so just accept that. Even in the earlier scene, she repeated the whole, oh, me and Erica, we're the same. We're hard on the outside, but we're soft on the inside. Like, just shut up, Garcelle. Like, isn't that most people? Or a lot of people? That's not like a unique characteristic. Stop trying to relate and connect with Erica in that way. Like, I doubt you guys are really friends like that. Not saying that you haven't had good times or you haven't gotten along with Erica, but clearly you guys are not that close. And clearly Erica's the type of person where you're not going to be able to call her out on her shit and have that relationship with her. Right? Certain people, you can kind of speak your mind, and if you say it at least in a respectful way, they're at least open to what you have to say. Erica's not going to be that person, especially in this situation. So just stop. Just stop trying at this point, because you just look dumb. And it's not on Garcelle, right? But I just feel bad for her. I feel bad for Garcelle in those moments, because she could really, because previous season, you see how those ladies are. They just come at you and they show no empathy, right? So I do appreciate Garcelle. I do think she's a good person. Well, she'll come at you, but she's still a human being. She's not going to try to destroy you, but she's still going to have to say what she has to say. And Garcelle is in an awkward place because she's trying to, defend Sutton, but not try to be too cruel to Erica. But like I said, in Garcelle's confessional, she was like, why is Sutton being the scapegoat? Why is everybody, let's get into it, Kyle, Lisa. Did you see Lisa there playing with the damn dog, giggling with the dog and laughing when Erica is yelling at Sutton? Like, Lisa Rinna, I do like her because I know she's messy, but she's so two-faced at that point. Like, you have your friend that you care about, right? Your friend is in tears. She's yelling at one of your other friends, right? The one that you introduced into the show. And you're there laughing your ass off playing with the stupid puppy. I mean, okay, let me not take it out on the puppy. The puppy was absolutely cute, right? And I know I know Lisa was a little bit tipsy or drunk at that point. I think she was very drunk, if I were to be honest. But I don't know. Lisa's just so silly. Like, you have your friend being upset and you're just laughing and giggling. After you and Kyle sort of added to the mess, right? You're telling Sen, be honest, tell the truth, say what you had to say. When everybody at that table was talking crap. And when Erica watches this season back, she's gonna realize that it was not just Sutton, it was everybody. And definitely they were using her as a scapegoat, especially Kyle, because she has her producer's hat on, right? She doesn't want to face Kyle directly, because Kyle doesn't want to face Erica directly, because she still wants to be on Erica's side, right? She wants to be her best friend. But she still wants to get the storyline out, right? She still wants someone to confront her on her lying and the contradictions. So she's throwing Sutton under the bus, like, oh, say what you've been saying. You said all this stuff with me privately. How come you're not saying it now? And the reason why, yes, okay, I'll be honest. Is Sutton a little scared, with Erica, right? Is she acting a bit scary? Yes, she is. I will admit that she is. But in Sutton's defense, she did say that me and you need to have a little conversation. And Erica shut her down. Erica wasn't trying to hear. Every time Sutton tried to say something, Erica shut her down, because Erica's very good at it, right? And that's why I feel like none of the ladies really have the cojones to face Erica Jane like that. Because I don't know, I'll admit, Erica Jane is scary. She is. So I feel like they freeze up in person, but Sutton did try. It's not like Sutton was not being quiet, right? It's not like Sutton was being fake. She was trying. And for Kyle to really call her out in the way that she did, it's very manipulative. It's very clear that Kyle has her producer's hat on. She's trying to get the storyline out. And because Sutton was too scared to really, stand in what she had to say, Kyle decided to throw her under the bus, along with Lisa Rinna, right? And it was like, well, you said this, and you said that, and you said that. Very, very messy. Very, very messy. Kyle is very messy. But to be honest with you, unpopular opinion again, even though Kyle is a snake, at the end of the day, I mean, Sutton, you did say this stuff on camera, right? It's not like you said this behind the scene. You did say this stuff on camera. You did say that next time you see Erica, you're taking off the kid gloves. You spoke a lot of game. So, was Kyle a good friend for calling you out like that? Absolutely not. Absolutely not. But in terms of producing the show, I think Kyle is not... I wouldn't say Kyle did the right thing, but at the end of the day, if you say it on camera, it's fair game. So Kyle does kind of... In terms of the rules of reality television show, Kyle does have the right to kind of call you out in that moment, because you weren't saying it yourself because you got scared. And it's like when Kyle called you out and you were like, like you had all these points, but you didn't make the point in the moment. And like here I am waiting, like I'm waiting for this moment for Sutton and Garcelle to get Erica together, and they didn't do that. Erica got them together, and I'm sorry, Erica had me siding with her at this point. Like that's how much of a good a job Erica did, or how much of a bad job the others did, that you have me siding with Erica in the moment. Like, listen, I mean, Erica really got them together, really did. The only person that I'm actually was surprised by and impressed by was Dorit. Not impressed, I'm giving her too much, but the only one that kind of really was trying to get things out was Dorit. And I found it kind of funny when at the beginning of the dinner, Dorit actually wanted to have a moment with Garcelle, and Kathy kind of shut her up and was like, let's enjoy our food. And then after the whole Erica Jane convo started going off, Kathy was like, well, you know what, maybe I should have just let Dorit and Garcelle have their moment. But Dorit and Garcelle did not need to have another moment, because they already had their moment, and I don't think it was a really big deal. So I'm actually glad that Kathy shut her up at that point. But when it comes to Erica Jane, Dorit was the only one I feel like she was trying. She was still a little scared. She wasn't coming at her full force, but I feel like she was better at communicating how she felt. Erica Jane still shut her down with a look at my face. You could see she's crying. Look at my face. Look at me, and how upset I am. And I think it's like, okay, right? Let's say Erica Jane is innocent, right? Or she didn't know what was going on. I wouldn't necessarily say she's innocent, but let's say she didn't know what was going on. It's somewhat believable, right? It is. But whether you're, even if you're not innocent or you're innocent, never once has Erica, like I said, shown any sort of compassion or empathy for the victims, right? She very much makes it all about her. And I think that if she would have humbled herself, maybe the ladies would have asked you questions here and there. Now, she shouldn't let it go on forever, right? And she should be very careful, because legally she could put herself in a bad position. But if she humbled herself just a bit more, if she showed more compassion, if she said, oh my God, I feel so terrible for, for the burn victims, I don't know if Tom did this, but if Tom did this, I feel so bad, I feel guilty. Okay, maybe don't say I feel guilty, but If Tom did this and I spent money on these luxury items, I feel bad. You know what? I'm gonna donate money to them. I'm gonna do like that could have even been a scene on the show of her doing a charity event, of her auctioning off stuff, of her giving back to the victims in some way. Like, I don't know if Tom did this or not. Of course, add that as a disclaimer several thousand times to be clear. But if she did something, then I feel like the other ladies and the audience would ease up on her. But she's very much all about herself. She's very much in survival mode, and it's just making her look guilty. And the way she's acting is making her seem even more guilty at this point. I think if you're innocent, I mean, everybody acts differently. You could say you would do this or that, but you never know unless you're in the situation. But I don't know, if I was in that situation, I would act a little bit more humble, and not be so defensive. Because, like I said before, it's not like it's a victimless crime here. So you need to give a little bit of grace to the other ladies if they're looking at you a little crazy. You have, like, I mean, even if you're innocent, you would be like, okay, well, yeah, I can understand why they're looking at me a little weird, and it's not like all the other ladies are treating her with kid gloves. Now they're being two-faced, and when Erica watches everything back, she's gonna see how two-faced all the ladies, especially Kyle, she's gonna see the truth there. But what was I saying? Yeah, you would have a little bit of grace and understanding given the circumstances. You wouldn't be such a victim in this situation, because you're a little bit of a victim, but not that much at the end of the day. And like I said, the ladies are not even going that hard on you, and you're like losing it. So this was a good ass episode. I'm looking forward to the continuation. I'm guessing, just based on how things are going, I just get the feeling that we're not gonna get that scene. We're not gonna get that cathartic scene with the other ladies really calling Erica out. We're probably not gonna get that until the reunion, if I'm gonna be honest, because I don't feel like any of the ladies at this point have the balls to really take Erica Jane on. So that's it, guys. That's my review. Can't wait till next episode. See you guys.